It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the ball, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches?
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
Joe Beach, he looked down, seen his feet, the nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word. And let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry. Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we had. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of our revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand. We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply.
All in your business.
Hold up. You don't know nothing about that shit, bitch. Dance with me. Dance with me.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me, want it. Nigga.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's just Dad.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
Come with baggage, just nice, Louis Vuitton.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on here, right here.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
I think we OD.
Your lines.
My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard.
You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the dude. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the dude.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out. Nigga.
Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know. Guess it was underlying.
To the east. To the west. To the south. Above. Below. In the middle.
Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, I guess that's my key to come on in, and I'm going to give everybody some good energy. Burn this sage. I'm a little high. I'm going to burn this sage. Oh, didn't need it that high. Why your flame so high? For when I get my geek on. That's what Curdy used to tell his girls. All right, y'all. To the east. To the west. To the north, excuse me. To the west. To the south. Above. Below. And the center. Wow, it smells so good. Let's give love to the trees. This can keep shit off your ass. Smells like a fireplace. All right. All right. Well, I hope everyone's in good spirits and everyone's being the best they could be today. As always, you dig? And I see PJ Allen. What's happening?
Got to have vision.
And I see Dr. Sinisters. What's happening?
Got to have vision.
Johnny. What's happening?
Got to have vision.
Elmore Amaru Khan, also known as Easy L Does It.
Got to have vision.
Thank you for joining me. Now let me say, Lamar and King Henry showed out tonight. They did, and you know I picked the Bills, so yeah, that kind of bust me a little bit tonight, but that's all right. Yeah, they did. You know, when they showed that comparison to Eric Dickerson, like I wonder what Eric Dickerson did in high school, because you know he's my age and he was driving one of them new Camaros back then. I'd have had a caddy instead of one of them Camaros. They'd have been at like, what kind of car do you want? Give me one of them caddies. Fuck that Camaro. Oh, James Gant, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
I picked the Jets too, so that kind of set me back a little bit. And I'll get into my picks and I can get into my other raps. So for week 4, so far I'm 8-5. I went 8-5 in week 4. And the ones I lost the Jets, I lost the Steelers, I lost the Rams, and I lost the Eagles, and I lost the Bills. Now we got 2 more games tomorrow, which tomorrow I'm taking the Dolphins and I'm taking Detroit. Those 2 games tomorrow. So, but I won the Cowboys, I won the Bengals, I won the Falcons, I won the Texans, I won the Vikings, I won the 49ers, and I won the Commanders. And of course, I won the Raiders. I'll tell you one thing I didn't understand about the Vikings game is the Vikings had a chance to put if the Vikings kicked the field goal, because what was it, 28-32? Wasn't it 28-32? So if the Vikings kicked the field goal, and the over and under, I think when we went the over and under was 48. So they were well over, but I couldn't understand still why not kick that field goal to put the game, you know, it was like no way they could have won if they kicked the field goal. The way they won by stopping them, but I wonder if that was the money line, because that's what I was trying to figure out. Why not kick that field goal? Because you kick the field goal and there's no way they could win. It just wasn't enough time left. And the way it played out, there was still a chance. But not kicking the field goal didn't make any sense. So Again, we got 2 games tomorrow. So far this year, that would make me 38 and 23. 38 and 23 so far with 2 games left tomorrow. So I'm 38 and 23 so far this year. So, the Lynx lost a tough one. I noticed their big girl, number 8. She had a chance. The girl just crossed her over, and they said she was a good shot blocker. She didn't try to score. She double teamed and left the girl wide open at the free throw line, and the girl shot a one-hand shot that beat the Lynx. So the Lynx end up losing by, I think it was 3. And the big news here was Towns leaving this week. I say good riddance. I mean, do you know how frustrating it is to watch the Timberwolves play and see Towns shoot a layup and Towns falls on the ground after a layup? He gonna do the same shit in New York. He wasn't a great defender, and really, we have Nas Reed. So I would get rid of Rudy and that contract because we got Nas Reed, which him and Towns are about the same height. We don't really lose 3-point shooting because Nas is a good set shooter, and Nas goes to the hoop and plays harder defense. Rudy, I imagine we can take some fouls with him, but he's not really effective, especially if you have to switch like we saw with Luka. Again, he shouldn't have been in there at the end of the game, and it's all fixed. So, but Towns leaving, getting Randall. I don't see where Randall fits in with Ant's game. I guess if they need another go-to when Ant slowed down, because again, I put Randall like Carmelo. He needs the ball. Dribble, 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 back up, dribble, 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 back up, dribble, dribble, back up. And we already know we need the lane open for Ant. We don't need anybody where they trying to collapse the middle. But with Ant's outside shooting, what is his name? Vanicinzo. I don't think that's a bad pick. He's decent on defense. I'll say that. Not Randall. Other than him having size and strength, he's not really great on defense. But Vincenzo, whatever his name, but on defense and guarding bigger guards, he's going to help. He's going to help. And relieve Ant, he's going to help. And I think he could even bring the ball up if he had to. So, but a good riddance with Towns. I was never impressed with him. He's a clown. I've said that many times. He's a clown, and he falls down. He shoots a layup and he falls down, giving the other team multiple fast breaks during the game. So he's going to do the same thing for the Knicks. So the Knicks can have him. I'm glad to get rid of him. So that's my sports take for tonight. I have to find this video. They have the 49ers winners of the Super Bowl. The one guy who's picked the last 5 out of 6 Super Bowls, he's got the Chiefs three-peating. He's got you can look that guy up. He's part of NFL Network. But he's picked the last 5 out of 6, and he has the Chiefs three-peating. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm taking the Titans and the Lions. Get rid of Gobert. I would say get rid of his contract for sure. Julius Randle can play like the move. I don't hate it because I don't like Towns. Rudy is what the average European player is. Underdeveloped. Because remember, he was back and forth from the G League. And so, but he tries on defense, and he does at points make it harder for the other team. Luckily, we got Nas Reed. That's one thing I feel good about getting rid of Towns is we have Nas. And Nas can pick up anybody. What is this? Oh. So I don't mind the move. I was kind of glad to get rid of him. I don't mind the move at all. Man, I wish I could show it on camera, but all my half boxes I got from the Nike outlet, I've got them arranged, and this is what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 20. I've got 24 shoes in this shoe rack that worked out pretty good. I got it on the back of my door. And like when the half boxes, I keep what the shoe is, and I throw the rest of the box out. Now, my full boxes, I keep all them, and I keep the shoes in them. I've not only got them in the boxes, I've got them in those bins I showed. So, and I went to the outlet and saw the Booker, the snakeskin Bookers. They were $150 with 30% off, which roughly around $100, I think. I think they were maybe 110, or maybe they were 130. I think they came up to be 100. Those were the only ones I saw that was interesting. And so now I'm still kind of probably not going to get another pair of shoes until next month. I passed on the Jordan 12s because I just got the taxis, and I don't see the point of getting the black and gray. I just didn't see the point of getting those. I'm going to wait for those Carolina Blue 11. Is it 11s? I think I'm going to wait for those to come out, or those 13s. I forget. But I think I'm going to wait for those to come out next month. Or not next month, but November. I'll go after those. But yeah. So, it's just a chill day today. Watched the games, and that was it. Watched the games yesterday. So disappointed in my Aggies. First, my Aggies, who was that? They lost to North Carolina Central, which is the arch enemy. And then they messed around and lost to South Carolina State. They got beat by North Carolina Central 66-24. They lost to South Carolina State. I can't remember the score. I'd have to look it up, but I know they lost again. And I think next week going is homecoming. So this is a homecoming where, I'm not going to go anyway. Because, it's the greatest homecoming on earth. So it's always sold out and all the concerts and stuff. But I'm not going to be going anyway. So. So, that's kind of what it is on the family front. I think the high school homecoming might be this week too, but I didn't go. I must say the weather, I know some places like Asheville, North Carolina was affected by the hurricane, but it's up in the fucking mountains. So I guess the storm gave a lot of water to one of them rivers up there, but it's up in the mountains. So I don't know how a storm went up in the mountains and flooded them motherfuckers out. So I'm not sure. But, those of you, that suffered or have relatives that suffer, I'm sorry to hear that. But, like I said, I would rather have snowstorms than hurricanes. I'm going to drop a little knowledge on you while I'm thinking about it too. Something to think about. I philosophize, so I'm going to philosophize a little bit. This is some shit I'll be putting on Facebook, so I'll read this off. So the movie Civil War shows Western forces versus the nation forces. My first thought about the movie is, who financed the Western forces? Now, we can think that some of the Western bases were overrun. Our resources still have to come from somewhere. With that said, we can see in history that the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers have financed both sides of almost every war. Right now, they're saying that the Rothschilds more than likely financed the French Revolution. And gave finance to Napoleon as well. In addition, Henry Ford gave the Nazis vast amount of money. I've said many times, Henry Ford's Ford plant was never bombed, other than it broke out a few windows. It was never bombed and destroyed. The Bush families traded on the stock market. Queen Victoria's grandchildren fought each other in World War I. In Korea, the Rothschilds gave money to the Communist China and Korea and Russia. In World War II, the Rothschilds gave money to America, Russia, Germany, and Japan. One has to wonder, why aren't they held liable? Now back to the Civil War. The last 4 years, we've seen the biggest influx of Mexican and South Americans ever. So the upcoming war will be against the immigrants in America. Whose side will you pick, especially in the West? Now, Texas will be the true test of both sides. A lot of sympathies will go to the immigrants. People who now claim American or national support will flip sides. California would give up without a fight and fall into the Western forces. And I put this: Chicago youth will finally have another true enemy other than each other. So in a real life scenario, what side will you be on? Now, something else I came up with, one scenario that has to be considered is that our government tells the people that the Pacific Fleet got destroyed while protecting Taiwan. So this would give China a clear alley to take the West Coast. But what has to be considered is called man in the high castle, meaning allowing the fleet to seem like it was destroyed to allow Chinese troops to invade. China already owns the deep seaport in San Jose, thanks to Bill Clinton. Some American troops won't fight against its people, but Chinese troops win. Again, the powers that play always hedge their bets by giving money to both sides. So I wanted to give that a little bit of knowledge out. And you can see that already that the media wants you by saying that, you know, these immigrants are taking over certain is taking over these hotels and stuff. So they're already setting the stage against them, as you can see. You know, they're already setting the stage as them being the enemy. And I mean, anytime you see people taking natural resources, and I know my wife and I get to arguing about this. I mean, yes, the only thing we argue about is politics. But you know, it's no doubt that you take Chicago especially, and you look at Chicago and you look at the natural resources, and you see the resources are being taken away from the people. I mean, the only resource they give to Chicago is guns. You know, we know the government has supplied guns. I mean, we know stories of guns just being left in trash barrels in Chicago. And I've told the story many times about the tractor trailer full of guns that was left in South Central in the early 80s. So the violence that we see in Chicago is military organized. I mean, there's a push behind the violence. And yes, you know, but again, when we don't have resources, we see what ends up happening because of lack of resources. So, who is this? I don't know if this is a name I know. I think it's Ali Virgil Jr., but and here's the morbid news. And in the morbid news, Ali Virgil Jr. Sr., the Ali Virgil Jr. played baseball too. He died at 92. He was the first Dominican-born player to appear in the Major League. He died. He was born in 32, immigrated to the United States at 15 before attending DeWitt. In that DC? Oh, in the Bronx. Okay. After spending time in the Marines, he debuted for the New York Giants in 56 and spent 9 seasons in the majors as a catcher, third baseman, outfielder for 5 teams. He means a lot, said Juan Soto, the first Dominican coming to the big league, opened the doors for not only Dominican, but all Latin players. Virgil's son, Ozzie Jr., was a 2-time All-Star catcher during his 11-year career from 80 to 90. So I wonder if he's around my age. So following his playing career, the elder Virgil spent 19 seasons as a big league coach with the Giants, Expos, Padres, and Mariners from 68 to 80. Serving as third base coach under Dick Williams with the later of the 3 clubs. He worked with the Mets organization for more than a decade, overseeing catching instruction for the organization's Dominican summer teams. He's also named honorary coach by the manager under Mickey Callaway 1 game at the end of 18. If you love the game as much as I do, the sound of the bat keeps me alive and hitting the ball. So rest in power. Rest in power, our Virgil Sr. And let's see. And we know that's more than likely his death is more than likely probably a baseball playoff ritual, because you know the playoffs start Tuesday. I think the last of the games were today. And there's another death we have called Korean actor Park ZK, known for The Glory, dies at 52. Popular Korean actor Park Zia, best known for portrayal of Moon Dong's mother in the series The Glory, died Monday. The actor succumbed after battling a cerebral stroke. She was only 52 years old. According to a statement, she passed away from cerebral infraction, which would not forego the passion of the deceased who loved performing. She debuted in her acting career in the film The Coast Guard. Over the years, she established herself as a versatile actor, delivering compelling performances in a variety of projects. Her film is like Epitaph and dramas as A Bloody Heart and Cleaning Up Showcase. Netflix The Glory, I ain't watched that shit, so I can't say. Sorry to hear you go, sister. Sorry to hear you go, but again, probably a baseball playoff sacrifice. And I saw one more. I thought she passed already, but we can't take anything away. This is Maggie Smith, died at 89. She played in Lord of the Rings as one of the teachers. Says best known for Harry Potter's, not Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter's. And Downington Abbey has died at the age of 89, her family said. British stage and screen actress Maggie Smith, who numbers 2 Oscars, 3 Emmys, and countless stage awards her credit, has died. She was 89 years old. It's great sadness that the House announced the death of her son, Toby Stevens, and Chris Larkin said in a statement. She passed away peacefully in hospital early this morning. In her late 70s, drew an entirely new legion of fans thanks to her starring role in the hugely successful Downington Abbey, a hit for PBS masterpiece around the world. She picked up 2 Emmys and was nominated for 2 more as a role of Dodger Contessa, I guess is her name. Smith appeared in number entries in the Harry Potter franchise. That's probably where most people would know her from, the Harry Potter. As a master in classic contemporary role, who is known for her subtlety and her broad stroke mannerisms. So, okay. Again, we know that when we see actors and actresses died, more than likely it is for the sports rituals. And we know they love to move in threes. Whoops. And something I've been harping on, let's see. Gold prices hit a record high. See if I can get this back. So I've been harping on this for the past 6 months. Here we go.
Smallwood. Randy, good to have you. Let's get you to answer that first question that I just posed. I mean, we have watched this significant move higher. Is it sustainable?
Yeah, it is. What we've seen is a lot of strength out of the eastern part of this world, but the West is starting to catch up now. For the last 4 or 5 months, we've seen a lot of indicators that the Western world is now starting to invest into gold and starting to look at putting it in as a store of value. And so we've seen ETF holdings pick up. We've seen silver start to move. We've seen the GDX start to move all the way across the board. The indicators that show that the Western world is starting to invest into gold really starting to go over the last 3 or 4 months. And so it just feels like it's got some really strong momentum. Every day seems to be, or every week seems to be a new floor.
Your own stock has had some momentum as well, we should point out, and the market cap is quite sizable. Would you explain to our viewers, because you're described as specializing.
Oh, no. Bullshit commercial.
In mining in gold, silver, and palladium, cobalt, but through streaming agreements. What is the differential there?
And look at this buy-in, $63. That's the buy-in to his precious metals, $63.
Between that and a typical mining company.
Probably, yeah. Streaming company is a really low-risk way to get exposure to great mines, and it really does come down to that concept. We strike agreements. We don't actually operate mines. Our company only has 40 employees. And what we do is sign contracts with mines to get a portion of their byproduct, either gold or silver or cobalt or a little bit of, we got a little bit of palladium. We got some platinum coming into the mix here too relatively soon. And what that means is that we don't actually have to operate the mines, but we're very selective about which mines we invest into. So our shareholders get the benefit of these really well-operated, good long-life, high-margin mines, and they get it at a fixed cost base, and that's the huge advantage, is that our capital cost, the original contract when we purchase it, that's our capital cost, and then we have an operating cost, production cost that is fixed again in the contract, so no cost surprises, and that just delivers a really low-risk way to get access to some really promising and high-margin mining operations.
And even higher margin when the price of gold, I would imagine, is going up. How much has that changed your financial outlook?
Well, the beauty for us is that it doesn't change our costs at all. Our costs stay at around $450 per ounce, and so at $2,600 an ounce, plus $2,600 an ounce, our operating margins are over 80% now. So the company is incredibly strong. We do outperform gold and silver. We're up about 130% over the last 5 years. Gold's up about 70%. Silver's up a little bit less than that. And so it's just the nature of these contracts. By selecting good operating partners, good assets, and then cutting out the cost.
See that 182 million in gold
risk and having that confidence.
So as I said before, buying any kind of gold is worth it. Doesn't matter if it's 10 karat, doesn't matter. You know, when you go to trade it in, if you so have to do so, you get coins, because we know with this BRICS coming, the dollar is going to be less useful. And the way gold is going up, you know, it makes you wonder, why isn't our money backed in gold like it once was? You know, our money used to be backed in gold. You can still, or even one time it said silver. And matter of fact, you can see gold certificate old bills or silver certificate old bills. So that's our money really used to have real substance. And now, you know, our money is based on debt, on out of just printing too much money that's caused inflation. And, you know, Nick Taylor was talking about the way these docks are about to go on strike, and you can already see the pictures, the way the trucks are lined up. So, let's see. Did I get it? The white guy from Beverly Hills Cop died, Sergeant Hackard. Oh, okay, James. He died too. Soap opera guy dies from Days of Our Lives. I think I saw that. I think we was eating lunch and it flashed on. And that amazes me about soap operas. I mean, wow. But if you again I just give some advice. It's up to you. You know, if you're able to invest, I'm just saying, with the dollar being so weak, it's not a bad time to invest in something else. And you can easily buy gold coins. You can buy grams of gold. I think 3 grams of gold is like 2 something, which is not bad, before you can end up, you know, saving enough. Because was it 31 grams is an ounce, and with the ounce being roughly at 26, not bad to try to, you know, save you a little something, because we're not really taught to save. Whereas now, you know, gold is something you can hold on to. So instead of putting money in stocks that you can't touch, gold is something that's going to be there for you that you can touch. So Chris Christopherson, I think he died already. Oh, Chris Christopherson died? I thought he had died already. Why is it showing this? I'm not sure. Oh, here he is. He played in Chris Christopherson, another. I thought he died last week or so. Nope, he just died Saturday. And this is the guy that played in the Stars Born. Is it Dolly Parton or was it Barbara Streisand? I'm not sure. But he also played in North Dallas 40. He played in North Dallas 40. He died in Hawaii. In addition to the Blade trilogy and Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid, Christopherson earned a Globe and Gold for Best Actor in Stars Born. The music legend was part of the Highwaymen with Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Johnny Cash. The supergroup revolutionized the outlaw music genre in the 80s. It was a heavy heart that we shared the news of our husband, father, grandfather, Chris Christopherson, away peacefully on Saturday. A lot of you guys might know him in Blade. And he was 88 years old. But he played in North Dallas 40, I believe, too. Didn't he? No, that wasn't Chris Christopherson. That was Mac Davis. Excuse me. But yeah, for those of you that knew Blade, so, you know, again, his death is definitely for the baseball playoffs. So that's the only problem about being famous. They let you die when in a way that it is that you die in ritual. It's always in ritual where the numbers add up. It gives energy to the sports that are coming up. So, when actors die in seasons or right before the playoffs, they're sacrifices. So, no other way to look at it. There's no other way to look at it. So, but yeah, you say, Dave, it's surprising me. It surprises me that like some of these same people that's played on these soap operas when I was watching them in college are still on them. Like that chick named Brooke on The Bold and the Beautiful that plays the Brooke character. That chick been on there for 30 years probably. And I remember before Bold and the Beautiful, it was a show called Capital. Do y'all remember Capital? Matter of fact, how many of y'all remember the black? It was a black soap opera that Vivica Fox was on. Do y'all remember that one? I can't remember the name of it, but it was a black soap opera that Vivica Fox starred on. That St. James, whatever his name is, had the little ear and the big ear before they gave him plastic surgery, so they'd always show him on the big ear side. Do y'all remember that cat? Christopher St. James, I think was his name. He had the big ear, and then he had a little ear when he first started, and then they'd give him a bigger ear. And then Omar, what's his name? Shaman Moore. Shaman Moore. Do y'all remember when Shaman Moore was on The Young and the Restless? And his teeth, he had little tiny teeth when he first came on. Obviously, he got his teeth fixed. But when he first was on, Shaman Moore was first on The Young and the Restless. He had them little tiny teeth. But he started on Young and the Restless. So I don't know if y'all remember that. Because two shows that started at the same time was The Price is Right and The Young and the Restless. And my mother used to watch them both. So I kind of started watching The Young and the Restless. But again, I haven't watched it in years. But it's been on. Gosh, The Young and the Restless probably came on in the 70s. So, and that shit is still on today. With some of the still characters that, ain't quit working yet. Makes you kind of wonder. But yeah, that's some of the morbid news. I know a lot of you might say, well, people die every day, which they do. I'm not going to say they don't. But when it comes to sports people, when it comes to entertainers, there is a contract that they sign. That's part of the contract. The contract ain't always just about giving up your booty. The contract is about also controlling when you live and controlling when you die. I think this cat, yeah. Now this cat, if you remember, this is what James Gant was talking about, this cat from Beverly Hills Cop 1. And he was on the latest Beverly Hills Cop, and he looked bad. He was only 76 years old. So John Ashton, Beverly Hills actor, dead at 76. Who starred alongside Eddie Murphy in the series. He died at the age of 76. The actor's rep confirmed his death on TNC. That Aston died Thursday in Fort Collins, Colorado, after a battle with cancer. He looked horrible too. He looked horrible in the new. Even him, Judd, whatever his name is, he looked horrible in the film too. Judd Reinholtz. Remember, he played in was it 16 Candles? Was it 16 Candles? He played the brother. I forget. He is best known for playing John Taggart with Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley, and Detective Billy Rosewood in the three original Beverly Hills Cop in 84 and 87. And then 3 this past year, where Taggart was elevated to the chief. Ashton was other notable roles playing Eric Stoltz's father and John Hughes' teen rom-com Some Kind of Wonderful, bounty hunter Marvin Doffler in the cult action comedy Midnight Run. I saw that. A pitching coach in 1984, Big Little League, and a Boston detective in Ben Affleck's Noir, Gone Baby Gone. Career, he been early 70s, appeared in an episode of MASH, Starsky and Hutch, Dallas, Law and Order, and Special Victim Unit. And the 80s revival of The Twilight Zone. So, thank you, James Gant, for that. But again, they all are deaths for the sports. And they can't just die. They have to die in a sacrifice. And that's just part of it. So it's not all about, being raped and just the sex and the ditties and the freak offs. It's also about the energy and giving you, your energy and making sure that, for them, their heaven was here on earth. That's what they give up. Their heaven comes from here on earth. That's the energy they give up. They want everything here. And we know that there's things a lot greater than this. And so those of us that put in the work, that study and know, that's the biggest thing. I was watching a thing on Carl Jung, and as they ask him, does he believe in God? He's like, well, I don't have to believe. And as you know, I often say, I don't believe anything because I know. And so that's what you should be. That's where you should be, is you should know. So whatever you practice spiritually, you should know and not believe. Oh. Boy, Eric Andrews, boy, they got him all hemmed up. But being a mayor of New York, which is a strong, that they have a strong mayor. It's not a weak mayor. It's like Detroit and like Chicago. Some cities the mayor is just a figurehead, but some cities, like even in Minneapolis, the mayor runs the police department. But they do have a city council that he kind of has to ask to, especially for funding and stuff. And Chicago, I think, is the same way. They have different ward commissioners. And so, some cities, the mayors are nothing, but some cities, they truly have power. So that is one reason why they're going after him. They saying it's a 10-year investigation. So why didn't they get him before he was mayor? Why they wait till now? That's the kind of thing that I don't understand. It's like, why wait till now to get him when you could have got him all this time ago? But they wait, and it's it's definitely political. It's no doubt that it's a political move, So, and it's good that we can get. Oh, did you guys watch my Saturday Night Live videos? People seem to like those little clips I did of Carmela, that Minnie Riperton's daughter did. It was kind of funny. All the different characters they're playing and making fun of them. And that's what Saturday Night Live is good for. The musical guest, what is the heavyset guy's name? I didn't listen to him. I turned it. It's like I only watch the weekend update, and then I don't watch the second part of the show unless it's a good guest. And that country singer, the fat guy, heavyset, whatever you want to call it, I wasn't really interested in him. So don't really know his music, so I didn't really watch him. Can't tell you if he jammed or not, because when he came on, I turned it. I was watching some other shit. So, and the skits in the second half tend not to be as good as the original when it comes on, and up until when they do weekend update. That's the best part of the show. The second part of the show is weak. So, I guess I'm going to see Joker. I don't know if I'm going to Thursday or Friday. More than likely Friday. Because it comes out. It previews on Thursdays. For those of you movie. And then the big movie that's going to come out is Venom. I look forward at the end of the month of seeing Venom. And then I think, was it Gladiators coming out around Christmas? So I look forward to seeing some of these movies as they come out. So, I'm a movie guy. And I'm not really looking forward to seeing Joker, but my wife wants to. So I'm not really interested in it, but she is. So I will go with her to see it. Now there is a movie out if you like animation called The Wild Robot, but that's kind of, I thought, for little children. So, oh, and I want to tell you, if you're into anime, let me read the name of this anime. The anime is called, here it is. It's called Yuzakami. Let me see if I can find this. It is wild. Let's see if I can find this. See just some pictures to kind of show you what it is. What is that? Yumaki. Let's see if I can find. There it is. Man, this shit here. Let me show you some pictures. Now, this is done in ink block type set, but this comes on Adult Swim, but this is wild. This is wild here, y'all. Now, what the premise is as you can see here, let me see if I can bring it down. Might be able to get it a little bigger. No. What the premise is these spirals are taking over a small town. All right. And what this character here originally she had a moon shape on her head, but as we go further and further in the show, this spiral takes over her head. Now, the main male character, his father turned into a spiral and it died. Now, what's interesting about the spiral is this is the golden mean or the golden ratio. So it's like the golden mean or the golden ratio is killing people, which we know in reality, the golden ratio and the golden mean is something that really starts life, but it's killing people. And what does it say here? It says, good news, it's finally made it. On Saturday, the first episode, log-weight adaptation of June's horror manga, premiered in the U.S. adult film Tsunami Block, where the series of difficult roadblocks during pandemic. So this was shot a while ago. Both subbed and dubbed versions will first air on American Channel Adult Swim and Tsunami Block. Both Japanese and English versions will be available streaming on Max the next day. Okay, I didn't know it was on Max. So the episode 1 came on last night and then next Saturday. So this stuff is wild. This is wild. Let's see if I can get it away from the commercial and show y'all this shit. This shit is wild. So I don't think I'll get any trouble for showing the commercial. Because the one I watched wasn't dubbed. The one I watched, yeah, it wasn't dubbed. But look at, see, there's always a spiral. You see? Always a spiral. And this guy is obsessed with the spirals. So, again, I don't know how much they'll let me show without getting a hit, but, you know, I don't mind it. Hey, Marcus the Great, thank you for joining.
You got to have vision.
So it's a trip show. I must say, this shit is a trip show. Oh, let me show this part. Let me show you. This is some weird shit, y'all. Watch this shit here. I don't know. I mean, this is a commercial, so I don't know why they wouldn't. Look at this shit. Look at him. This is some weird shit. Look at that. He gets sucked inside. So, this is some weird shit, y'all. Really, really weird shit. So, if you're into anime or manga, yeah. But my son on Community Splash, he did a breakdown of episode 1. Oh, okay. Here's what James Gant was talking about in the Morbid News. So that makes 6 entertainers, I think I read. Drake Hogenstein, Days of Her Life, dies at 70. A Days of Her Life veteran who plays John Black for nearly 40 years. Why would he want to play on a soap for 40 years? He was 70. The family actor. The family shared a statement, long-running soap opera's Instagram account, announcing he died after a battle with pancreatic cancer. Heavy hearts, we announced that he passed. He loved Days of Our Lives, right? Yeah, Days of Our Lives. He first appeared in 86. He played 38 years, more than 4,200 episodes. His other acting credit goes 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. I wonder if the old movie. Generations, Beverly Hills Cowboy. Beverly Hills Cowboy Blues, One Stormy Night, and Night Sins. Yeah, I can remember him. Somebody was always cheating on him. He always had a woman that was cheating on him. Yeah, I guess I did know who that cat was. And I ain't even watch a whole... Oh, I know why I watched Days of My Life, because my daughter's mother liked that shit. So I think that's why I watched it. I guess some brother died. Warren Wilson also died. Trailblazing black journalist was 90. I don't know who this nigga is. Let's see. Warren Wilson dies. Trailblazing black LA journalist. Why couldn't he be just a journalist? He got to be a black journalist. The first black broadcast journalist in LA was 90. The former KTL died on Friday. Wilson's family announced in a statement shared where he worked for more than 20 years. Our beloved Warren Papa died. They announced he was 90. His mirror on the air as iconic television journalist was just as authentic as he was a father, unsensational, sincere, and calming and adequate. After the beginning of his LA career in news in the 60s, Wilson went on to report some of the most significant moments of the past century, including the 68 assassination of Robert Kennedy, the 1980 Manson family, which was a psyop. The Manson family was only put there to get rid of the hippies living in the deserts. The 92 riots, O.J. Simpson trial, and the North Hollywood Bank of America shootout. Are you guys hip to that, the North Hollywood shootout? Wilson's known for helping facilitate the surrender of multiple minorities accused of crimes. This North Hollywood, that 1987 North Hollywood shootout, do you know what that was for? You know what that was for? That was for police to have M16s or AR-14s, AR-16s. That's all that was for. That was a staged event because, you know, the dude's going to rob a bank and they've got bulletproof vests on heading from, you know, like everywhere. And the only way they was stopped was direct bullets to the head. So this was a psyop to give law enforcement, instead of them having shotguns, to give them ARs. That's all that was. Let's see if I can find this. Because when I was in the police academy. I was in the police academy a little after. Well, let's look that up. 19. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This was just to give them. This is just to give them. Let's get this. North Hollywood shooter, 20th anniversary of the shooting. On the 25 years ago from when? When was this? Okay, this is February, so it's about 26, 27 years ago. 2 men attempt to rob Bank of America, North Hollywood, and it's still considered one of the most violent shootouts in policing history. February 28th is a date that forever be etched, blah, 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 blah. According to reports, 2 robbers, Larry Eugene Phillips and 30-year-old Y3 names, Emil Mastino, entered the Bank of America in Hollywood early in the morning, wearing body armor and ski masks. They shot their way into the bank's vault using assault rifles with armor-piercing bullets. Phillips and Mastino were able to obtain a little over $300 from the bank, but as they were about to leave, they were met by a dozen police officers. As the 2 were attempting to leave the bank, Phillips fired numerous gunshots at the responding officers. The responding officers were only carrying pistols, according to Los Angeles, attempted to get higher caliber rifles from nearby gun stores to combat the other assault, because they were a full ammo and auto piercing. While Phillips continued to fire at officers, Massino attempted to flee in the getaway cars. He was shot several times in the banking parking lot. The shootout lasted 40 minutes, resulting in both of guys. According to at least 12 officers and 2 bystanders was injured. The incident changed police policing, with officers now equipped with high caliber weapons. Captain Johnny Sterling, California Highway Patrol, that his officers now have ARs in their vehicle. So this was a psyop, wasn't a real event. It was a psyop because they wanted a reason to put those in their cars. So they created this psyop so they could put those kind of weapons in their cars. So that's kind of how our government works. They create problems, then try to pass them as being real because they want to do something that they know people would have been. Think about it. People would have been against them putting ARs in their cars without this. So this gave them excuses to put ARs in their cars. So we know it was a psyop, a fake event that they caused. What do they say? Even when it's real, it's fake. So. But I tell you, that Derrick Henry long run, I don't know. The one guy had the angle on him, and he just, I don't know. Sometimes it just makes me wonder. So makes me wonder. Oh, body armor. They had it head to toe. Actually, yes, they had it head to toe. Yep. Oh, what's happening, Marcus the Great?
Got to have vision.
Thank you for joining. And so that's why officers now have ARs. They wanted that excuse to have ARs. And so they create these psyops. Then they say the people died, so they don't. But it's kind of, it's like the other one that's cool to watch was the FBI movie. While the FBI agents stopped carrying 9mm and started carrying 10mm. And then they switched from 10mm to 40 cal. And then there was a wave of 40 cal. I've said before, you know, my backup weapon was a 40 cal. I bought one of the early Glock 40 cals when I was a cop. I carried a SIG 226, but I was one of the first. My backup gun, which I used to keep locked into my vest. Like I'd keep this open. I'd keep this buttonhole open, and I had that second gun right here. And then I always had a revolver in my pocket or a Derringer in my pocket. So I always had 3 guns on me because we was playing cops and robbers. So, you know, they didn't care how many guns you carried. Some people carried, you know, guns in their pockets and guns on their ankles too. But that's a good one. If you can find the FBI shootout, that's a good video to watch because the dude who played in Starsky, David Soul, I think was his name, played in Starsky and Hutch. They shoot the shit out the FBI. They have automatic weapons, and what they were doing is they were robbing armored cars with armor-piercing ARs, and they robbed several, and they always outshot and even today, you know, the people that does armored cars don't, you know, you see them walking somewhere with pistols. So, and they don't, you know, the truck has a lot of money in it, but not the people. And I've said before, I've worked that kind of job where we would be in the middle of the highway transferring $1 million. Because if one place was somewhere where we could meet in the middle, we'd be on the highway transferring money. That's how nonchalant it is. And I've sat on $10 million before. $1 million in hundreds ain't a big bundle. It's only about this big, probably that high. Now, when you're talking about $1 million of ones, fives, tens, 20s, 50s, and hundreds, now that's a big old bale of hay like money. But if you're just talking about a bundle of hundreds, you know, it's not big as you would think for just $1 million. No more than a bale like that. Yeah, we used to deal with those kind of things. So, well, guys, I wasn't going to go super late tonight. Don't really feel that great. Haven't slept in a couple days. But wanted to come over here and, they're releasing these? I don't like these. Yeah, I don't like these. Guess they're releasing these. These are velvet, which is suede. They look like suede to me. When are these coming out? Yeah, I'm not getting these. I'm getting the Carolina blue ones. I'm not getting these. These can pass. Yeah, those, I pass on those. Because matter of fact, these look too much like you could get the, what is the ones that look like this, but the air pocket in the bottom? Okay, not showing these. So these are called Air Jordan Bread Velvet Images. Yeah, I'm passing on these. These are a pass. I'm not getting these. Hell, I still got, I wore my cons. I wore my cons this weekend. We did for my wife's birthday. My wife's birthday was Sunday. And Saturday we went because my son's birthday was the 23rd, so he turned 22 on the 23rd, and then she had her birthday the 29th. So Saturday we went to a place where you could play game shows. It's like fake game shows. Like we were playing Planko, we were playing The Price is Right, we played Family Feud, and we played one more game. Wherever you spin the wheel and shit, you spin the Wheel of Fortune. We played that. So what it is you get 50 minutes, you get an hour to play all four of these games, and it's broken down to two teams. And it was at least we took about 15 to 18 people in there, and it was fun. It was funner than I thought. I thought it would be some bullshit, to be honest. But it was actually the way they had it set up was pretty fun. Now I thought it was out because when I saw the initial commercial for it, I thought it was at the Mall of America. It was going to be up on the 4th floor, but apparently it's not. It's in Golden Valley. So there was in like a office building, and they had two different sets. And I'm surprised they didn't tape it to sell it or even take pictures to sell it. They just took pictures and let you take pictures on your camera. But maybe they'll do that. But it was cool. I mean, it was like $35 a person, so it wasn't cheap. But it was fun, It was fun to come up with the answers and shit, under a little bit of pressure. So it was fun. It was definitely fun. And she wanted to do something different, and that's that's okay. That is okay. But it's funny, birthdays really mean more to women than they do men. It's like me, I don't give a damn. You want to take me somewhere and let me get some beers? That's good enough. But women tend to, birthday weekend. It's my birthday weekend, So once you get 50, you probably shouldn't be as excited about your birthdays as you think. Get 50, 60, you probably shouldn't be so excited about your birthdays. The birthdays are for children. Birthdays are for children and women. They get a little happier than we do, even though the whole month of June I celebrate because it's June and it's summer. As I said, the weather here has been nice. I get my walks in every day. I'm averaging about 2.5 miles. So I do it about 2.5 miles, get my walks in. And other than the last couple of days, I felt pretty good. A little today. I couldn't really sleep too good last night. So I am gonna, I'm not gonna go too much longer and then crash out. And I've got to look up week 5. So I'll tie up the 2 games. Oh, and PJ, if you do want to, do a show, let me know when you're off. Text me or hit me up, and we can, philosophize, talk about sports, And we're gonna be into week 5. The NFL season goes so fast. And it's going to be cool. I don't want to give away my idea, but it's going to be cool where the whole world is going to say, not like us. I know Drake is going to go on the moon during the Super Bowl because, soon as we see K Dot on the Super Bowl, America's going to be glued, especially melanated folks. And I know Drake is going to he's going to go up in the space shuttle, or he's going to go up into that space station and shit. So he ain't got to hear it. He ain't got to hear everywhere he go. It's just blasting like it's never been blasted before. So down with Drake and all them kooks down there, Baby, Wayne, all them. I ain't with none of them. I've never appreciated any of their music, especially Baby. I mean, And somebody was saying the reason why he put all them tattoos on his face is because of all the booty busting and got his booty busted. So to each his own, to each his own, But so that's a way to bring back the masculinity. Is by tattooing your face because you had to go through all the humiliation rituals. And he had Lil Wayne since Lil Wayne was a little boy. So, and then, you got Puffy admitting that him and Usher used to wrestle. And Usher started living with him at 13, and poor Justin Bieber, I mean, it's like, it's a revolving door of abuse. And I saw it, and my football team was like a fraternity. And I saw it through the fraternity system, baby a gatekeeper. Exactly. But I mean, just think of what he had to go through to get to where he was and what he had to keep doing. Y'all remember that picture of baby in the shower with that young dude, and it's a condom on the floor by him in the picture. Like they got out the shower and just threw it over, and then you got young men talking about they've been sodomized by this cat. And guys saying, they had to be sodomized to get the deal. What was that dude named? Delight said that just because you suck somebody's dick don't mean you're gay. Remember, Delight says that? So obviously he had to do that for the little bit of fame he had. But why should you have to do that for, your future or something that you love? And the same way with women, And, there's stories of Patti LaBelle, what did she say? That the Temptations ran a train on her. Suge Knight talking about, Mary J. Blige when she was a crackhead. Bunch of people running into her while she was a crackhead. And, that's one of the things you can see, try to get the athlete or try to get the star addicted. So it's easier. And you see like Richard Pryor shows and JoJo Dancer, he shows where he's drunk, and then he has a stand-up part where he talks about the brother robbed him hook, line, and sinker. And then JoJo Dancer, he's coming into a movie where they're doing a review of his movie, and he's in there all drunk and stuff. And so again, you got to imagine, Richard Pryor was abused when he was 5 years old, and he lived in a prostitution house. His mother was a prostitute, his grandmother was a pimp, his father was a pimp. I mean, when Richard Pryor was 18 for his graduation, he was given a hoe. He couldn't really work her, but, for 18th graduation, here's your own hoe, Rich. Go out there and make some money with her. I mean, I'm sure some of you, if you was given a hoe at 18, you could have did something with her. Hey, Jesus Save. Thank you for coming.
You got to have vision.
But these are the struggles that, people do for stardom, and we know Richard Pryor, he was bisexual. Long history of him being bisexual with many people. I mean, he tells a joke saying the man wanted to come in his mouth. You catch one of his early things. And then he also on that same set, he says, he was the only one in town that would have sex with his homosexual in Peoria, Indiana. And I can't imagine in the late 50s that it was a lot of, homosexuals in Peoria, Indiana, or Illinois, excuse me. So he said he was one that would have sex with this person. So he's telling you, early on in his life that he was bisexual. So, but I think, a lot of his does stream from being abused at a young age and his environment, so. And they say, the picture I have right there is called Nobody's Fool, about a clown, and the clown face of, sometime the clown is smiling, sometime the clown is crying. Smokey Robinson had a song called The Tears of a Clown. So the clown, a lot of times, even though they smiling on the outside, they crying on the inside. And that's kind of where Richard Pryor fell into it. He told comedy through a lot of pain. And I don't think we see that a lot anymore, that the comedians have a lot to say through pain. And I think he was one of the first. And his way of comedy, everybody else before told jokes, one-liners. But Rich was one of the guys that actually started telling stories. Oh, where are we at? Oh, okay. And so we see that's the way jokes are told today. What we got here? No. Oh, Thursday night is the Buccaneers versus who they play? Buccaneers versus the Falcons. So I'll be back on Wednesday night to do my picks for the week. Wednesday seems to work well. I don't think I have any appointments till later in the month. Yeah. Definitely got to see my chiropractor. I lifted this big heavy thing with my daughter's mother, so I'm definitely going to see the chiropractor on Tuesday because I know I did a little something to my back. I need to get a back brace so when I do help people lift shit, I have a little help. But in finishing, I've said many times, you've seen me finish, and be happy with who you are. Find some happiness and joy. I must admit, as a young man, when my pro aspirations didn't come off and I really wasn't playing semi-pro basketball, I became bitter. You work so hard and then it just gets taken away. Like I've said before, in a 6-month period, I was in front of thousands of fans in a football game. And then 6 months later, I'm in a ditch of shit up to my knees. Now, if that's not a mind fuck, what is? You dig? I think when I first started working for the city of Greensboro, I was making $5 an hour. Getting paid, what is that? 5 times 8, what is that? $40, and 40 times 5 is 200 and something. Can you imagine that? Only making $200 a week? And minimum wage was 3 something. So what I made wasn't, and this was 81. Oh, Sean, what's happening?
You got to have vision.
So now I don't know what $200 today would be comparative today. But again, it was looked at as if when you like in 1985, if you made 24,000, you was kind of rolling. Today, you got that same 25,000, you kind of got to make 100,000 today. That seems to be, pretty much to live comfortably, you need at least 100,000 in today's day and time. I mean, if you want to have a $400,000 crib, you want to have a car payment, $200-300 a month. I mean, I guess you can do it in 50 and 60, but it makes it kind of tough. And again, the considered wealthy is over 200,000. 250,000 actually is considered wealthy. I've said that many times. And so there's nothing wrong with if you make less than 100,000, there's nothing wrong with that. You can make it work. But for most of the people I know make at least that much, and that's just kind of my circle. Weird times we live in. Crazy, it's always been this way. The me and the my trying to understand itself, but destroying itself at the same time. Yeah. And like really people to understand is like we were talking about, what's ego driven, what's ego driven and what's self-confidence. That's some things that we look at is confidence, and confidence comes from being. And that's what it is. It's just being. It's not an act. It's, never have to front, you never have to front. You are what you are and you present yourself. And if I said, Todd Talamy, the crackhead, Todd said, just because I'm a crackhead, I don't have to look like a crackhead. And so no matter how much or what you make, it's you can look like you make however. And if you've got conversation, you can present yourself as a positive person that's successful. Now, I'm not saying, if you make under 100,000, you're not successful. I'm not saying that at all. Please, because success is individually rated on what it takes to, for you to live comfortably and your children to live comfortably. So, but it's just, you just also, and I've said before, you have to be thankful for what you got. Just be thankful for what you got. Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, living in the scene with the gangster lean, hoo-hoo. Gangster white walls, TV antenna in the back. Though you may not have, just remember, just be thankful for what you got. Be thankful for what you got. And be thankful for who you are. And you ain't got to think of God or Allah, Buddha, Jesus. You just think life, the universe. You just sit there because the universe is also inside of you. So you thank yourself for waking up. You thank yourself for being healthy. You thank yourself for getting and staying in shape. You thank yourself for all that. Thank yourself for dressing and washing your clothes and being presentable and be able to talk to anybody, thank yourself for all that. You have an idea and you're able to share idea with people and people like your idea. All these things. Be thankful for that. So, well, that's all I got to say tonight. Just be positive. Love yourself. Love the ones you love. Love your family. So, Nicole B, what's happening?
You got to have vision.
Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And it's funny as, here we're coming into the fall season. And the cool thing about the fall season is we get to dress again. In the summer, you kind of dress down, shorts most of the time, t-shirts. But, as the season changes, when you get to put on those dress pants and those Levi's, and then when the winter comes, you wear the boots. But a lot of people wear tennis shoes all year round too, because you can wear tennis shoes in the snow. But those of you from the northern states know that traction on ice and snow is tennis shoes. I've said before, when I was a little boy, they didn't allow us to wear cleats. So on grass, it was kind of tough. Sometimes you could slip running on grass, but in snow and ice, tennis shoes are perfect. They would always grip. And so a lot of people, it's just getting them wet because they ain't waterproof. But that was the only downers get them wet. But so a lot of people, even in the wintertime, I know he was going to my nephew's game and my brother-in-law would never wear boots. Shoot, I never wore tennis shoes. I was like, I ain't getting my shoes wet. I got enough boots where I'll wear the boots. I put the tennis shoes up. And every now and then, if I'm going to the mall or something, but most of the time I'll wear boots. Got some funky boots. And so, well, I don't have a whole bunch to say, as I said. Do need to get some rest. Yeah. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show, the weekly picks, Sunday weekly picks. I'll be back Wednesday to give my picks again. Thank you for joining. Till we meet again. But by the way,